Hello. How are we all doing this Saturday evening? Sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I was just having endless headaches, and they've gone away, so I decided to stream today. Glad I didn't wake up with a headache this morning. You got some soda, I got water, and it's slightly pink tinted because there's a little bit of leftover Crystal Light fruit punch that I was enjoying earlier. You're off for the night? Wonderful. Alright, so I think the plan is, because last week, for anybody watching who didn't see last week's stream, hi, how's it going? I did these three. I forget this character's name, I apologize. This cute elephant. I did a Sailor Moon sketch, which is unlike me. I'm not great at drawing people and anime characters, I feel like. Not my strength, but I think it turned out pretty cute for a sketch. And then Puck from Dota 2. So I'm going to be working on the cleaned up, finished kind of color of all three. I was thinking I'd start with the elephant first because she's very simple. And then I'll move on to Puck because I want to do some cool stuff with like the colored outlines. And then I want to try like a flat little golden book mid-century kind of thing with Sailor Moon because I think that'll be cute, like the lineless thing. So that's the plan of attack for this evening. And depending on how fast I get all that done, I might either spend a lot of time and that's the whole stream, or if I knock these out really quickly, maybe I'll get to some other requests. No promises, but I'll go for the usual like 2 to 2.5 hours that I typically do. So that's the plan. The Sailor Moon looks amazing. Thank you. I think that's the one I'm going to spend the bulk of the stream on, but let me do this elephant first. And I cannot remember her name, but she's very cute. This one will go pretty quickly because the shapes are already very simple. I just really wanted to try the lineless look with her because I think it would really look cute. So I'm going to do a white layer on top of everything and lower the opacity so I can still see the shapes, but I can go over them. So, how we all doing? I think I already asked that, but my weekend is boring but chill, I suppose. Going to get some lunch with a friend tomorrow, so that'll be nice. That was supposed to be today's plan, but it was postponed, so just everything this weekend is still planned, just like pushed one day ahead, which is fine. But yeah, this will come together really quick. I'm basically just tracing the same shapes I did last week, and I want to try that cute, like, construction paper cutout, lineless kind of thing. Though I do want to add, like, a line right there to show the underside of the trunk. Which I could also do by... No, I'm going to do a line where the mouth is. So I figured this would be a good warm-up, even though I've been drawing today. I had some client stuff to get done earlier, but it's like the stream warm-up, you know? Something to ease into it. What's your favorite thing you drew in 2024? That's a really good question. Let me think. I'm going to think about that for a minute and then see if I have it on my iPad. At the very tail end of the year, I started working on my new self-portrait, which I'm pretty happy with. And let me think, what's on my portfolio? I think honestly, like, it's a simple piece, but that I think it might be a two-way tie. The bear that is almost always the thumbnail for my streams. It isn't tonight because I bothered to make a custom one for tonight's stream, but usually that bear with the hamburger, the cheeseburger, because that was kind of a, like, it was a decisive, like, I'm gonna make a shift in the kind of art that's featured on my portfolio kind of thing, because I want to do that lineless little golden book retro style thing. It was kind of the catalyst for wanting to rebrand. So that was like the first piece I did that I was really happy with, that kind of flat look with the texture. Though before that, my second place would be, I did that Emmett Otter's Jug Band piece, which was kind of similar, but I was a little less confident with the style, but people really liked that. They gravitated to it. On Twitter, it ended up getting like 1,500 retweets, and I have like no followers and I'm never active, so that was kind of a big jump in like visibility for my stuff. So people seemed to like it, so it was just kind of like proof for me that, like, okay, there's something here, like there's something that people like, that resonates with people about this. Because I mean, people like Muppets, but like not that many people know Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Like, it's not that popular of a thing. So it wasn't just the fact that it was fan art, it was the style that people really liked. So I would say those two pieces were my favorites of 2024. Let's see. The bear is iconic. Thank you. Character's name is Frankie. Thank you. I'm terrible with remembering the character names from the request, but she is a very cute elephant. I'm glad I'm taking a stab at the kind of lineless style. And if y'all noticed, I finally added the Bloomaroo to the stream starting soon screen. I wanted to get that done before the end of 2024 so bad, and I just haven't had the time on or off stream. Maybe next stream I'll work on either Figment or the Lady and the Tramp. Those are the last two ones that I want to put on that. And then it'll be done. So next week maybe I'll do like requests up top, and then the last like 30 minutes or so is just kind of working on that late, because I got started on the Lady and the Tramp one, so maybe that would be a good one to work on. Let's do the bow. Yeah, in between these layers. When you're drawing, do you prefer to watch something or listening to a certain thing in the background? Kind of whatever. Like, most of the time I'll just go to YouTube and I'll just put on whatever. I watch a lot of like Little Simsy. She does Sims videos. I'll watch like a Queso stream I'll put on in the background because it's funny. I like his like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader streams. Those have been pretty entertaining on his second channel. So I'll put those on, and I listen to a couple different podcasts, and a lot of the time lately I've just been listening to music. I listen to the same like 30 songs, and I'll rotate which songs I'm in the mood for, and I'll just listen to those. Or sometimes I'll have a show on, but it's tough to have a show on because I like to work at my computer. I don't like to have the TV on in the background necessarily at this place. And when I use Astropad, which is the program I use that mirrors my, this is Procreate, I'm not using Astropad now, but for client work I need to use Photoshop sometimes, or Adobe Illustrator, or Animate, so I'll use Astropad, which mirrors my computer screen onto my iPad, so I can use the iPad like a Cintiq. Anyway, the point is, when I'm doing the screen mirroring, it thinks I'm trying to pirate streaming stuff, so I can't play any like streaming shows or anything because it's just a black screen. It's like when you try to take a screenshot of a Netflix show and it's black. It's like that. So I can't watch anything on streaming. I mean, I could always download or rent or otherwise procure Ahoy media to watch, but I'd rather just throw something up on YouTube or something. Let's see. Goals, get one book done this year. Yeah, that would be great. The Steven Universe soundtrack has been the top thing. That's a really great soundtrack to listen to. Steven Universe has a really good soundtrack. Video game music is always really good for background stuff. Even the like cliche like lo-fi hip-hop beats to listen to and stuff, like those channels are pretty good if you just don't know what to listen to but you need something. They're not bad. It alternates depending on if I want to hear people talking in the background or if I just want to hear instrumentals or whatever. So depends on the day, my mood. It changes a little bit. Some people are more like ritualistic, like it has to be the same type of thing every time. Like they only watch streamers or they only watch their like comfort show or whatever, and that's cool, but my mood changes every day, so some days the podcasts are hitting, some days they're not, you know. But that's my favorite like comment to receive, either when I stream. Well, I don't really make YouTube videos much anymore, I just stream. But when I did make YouTube videos, that was like my favorite comment to get, is like, oh, I put this on in the background while I drew. I'm like, that means a lot to me, because that's the function of YouTube for me right now. Is putting stuff on in the background while I draw. And January is always a slow month. I talked about this last week, where it was like, oh, I had nothing coming in. I have a couple little odds and ends jobs now, so it's like, okay, I have a reason to like sit at my laptop for hours and do stuff that's not personal work. But it was good to get some time. It wasn't fun to panic about no work, but I did find time to like make personal work. Like I got that self-portrait done. I got the mouse wedding piece mostly done. Let me find that real quick. Right in here. I got this basically done. I asked for feedback on Reddit and every social media because I'm like, there's stuff I want to change. Somebody on Reddit recommended like value hierarchy, so going from front to back. So say it's like the lightest in the background, and then the middle should be like medium, and then the bottom should be darker. So like lighten up this whole back row a little bit. Something like that, just to have that easier for your eye to travel down and across the image, which I thought was kind of cool. So I'll revisit this and tweak it and whatever, but I got that whole thing done. I got my self-portrait done. I got this pheasant piece done, which I did in 2 different colors just to like experiment with this simple style. I got this Mariah Carey piece done, fan art. So I got a whole lot done in that like that window where I was like, oh geez, oh gosh, nobody's ever gonna hire me again. And then a couple people hired me, so it was fine anyway. Anyway, let's get back to what we're doing. A little peek at the rest of my iPad. Debating on getting that huge Animal Crossing poster. Yeah, go for it. You know, I feel bad that the 2.0 update characters are not on it because I finished that poster before the big 2.0 update. So I do feel bad about that, but maybe I'll rework it to include them. But oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about opening all those PDF files open and like, oh my god, that would take so long. It took hours to put that together in Photoshop, no joke, because it's a huge file. So people are just gonna have to deal with the fact that the update 2.0 characters are on their own piece. I'm sorry about it, but man, that took forever and ever to make that file. Holy cow. I don't want to say I'll ever redo it, but it's like, man, my art is like so much more confident and better now. Like I kind of wish I could do the project now, but also I don't want to commit to drawing 486 or whatever the total count is villagers. Oh my god. It was so much work. I can't emphasize. Cut and paste. Let's do a clipping mask so that this eye doesn't go outside the bounds. It's gonna be really hard to see for a second here because the opacity is real low. What? Why is this gray still? That's not how it should be. Very tricky. Hold on. Clipping mask. I'm just gonna do it. Why is it like this? What is happening? Oh, it's because it's underneath this. Okay. Wait, undo. Bring this back. Move this up. Okay. I figured it out. I'm a genius. Oh my gosh. Please don't freeze on me. Y'all seeing this? It's frozen. Oh. Please don't freeze on me. Alright, we're gonna reboot her. Come on, Procreate. That's the first time that's happened to me in a long time. Wow. Like months. And on such a simple file, too. Anyway, we're fine. We're back. That was so weird. I haven't had Procreate crash on me in a long time. That's like standard for Adobe programs. It's like, okay, it's gonna crash at least once a day. Not Procreate. That was so weird. Anyways, let's see. All I want for Christmas is Victory Royale. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was simultaneously happy about the new villagers because they're all really cute and good, but at the same time I was like, man, I just finished that poster. Like, I thought they were done. I didn't think they were gonna add new characters, but it's fine. It's fine. Somebody with more time and dedication than me could beat me to the punch and redo the whole series with the 486 or 8. I think it would be 8. 488? Because it was 8 new villagers? I don't know. What I do need to do is all the NPCs, so like the Able sisters and, you know, Tom Nook and Isabelle and all them. I drew the sketches for all the NPCs, and I have a YouTube video of that, so I might go through and screenshot the YouTube video because I don't have those sketches anymore on this iPad because I broke the old iPad. Long story. So I might screenshot every frame from that and then set out on a thing to like do all those characters, but what is happening? Oh, I see what happened here. Here we go. Right? This is not a clipping mask. This is a clipping mask. Okay. Oh my gosh. Alright. And then the bow, we're going to separate. Cut and paste. And move that to in between. Like here. Yeah, okay. That's correct. Now the layers are layering. Oh my gosh. That was way more work than I had to be. My fault. Alright, we're going to hide these all temporarily so I can do this blue pom-pom here. What happened to you today? Oh, Procreate crashing? Yeah. Drawing a background for the first time in a long time. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really smart idea, is using 3D software to do like the basic model of it. What I've done for like clients sometimes is if they need a background of like a bedroom or a kitchen or whatever, I'll literally just make a simple version of the room in Sims and take a few screenshots and do rough sketches that are kind of traced over the thumbnail and be like, okay, what angle do you like? And they're like, this one. And then I'll take that angle and I'll customize the furniture and make it the appropriate art style and stuff. But that helps with the angles and the scale and proportion of everything a lot. And I don't consider it cheating because it's A, it's reference, and B, I'm doing a completely different art style on top, so it's fine. If I was tracing pixel by pixel like the stuff from the Sims furniture catalog, it would be a little iffy, but I'm not doing that, you know. It's just like, okay, this is roughly how big the stove is next to the fridge. You know, it helps. Or if like a character needs to be in a few different places in the same house, I'll do a very, very rough layout of it in The Sims. So I see like, okay, this is how the bedroom connects to the kitchen, that connects to the living room, whatever. Like, oh, there's a hallway here, there would be a door here, stuff like that. And like, stuff doesn't have to make sense like that, but if it's a full book or if it's like a series of images, you kind of want it to make some kind of sense. But then again, people have proven that the hallway in Jerry Seinfeld's apartment doesn't make any sense, like the way the doors are arranged, so stuff doesn't really have to make sense. It's just kind of fun when it does. It's 488 for the total. I thought it was 500 at that point. Yeah, maybe. It might be 500. I don't know. Because I always said it was 480 because that was how many I counted when I was using that fan Wikipedia as a guide. So I think the count was 480. I think that's what it is on the Redbubble poster. And then I think there was 8 new villagers dropped. I think so. But not 100% certain. And I tried my hardest not to draw any duplicates, because there was some that the names changed based on the translation, or changed between game titles, so I had to make sure I didn't draw any duplicates, and I don't think I ended up doing that. There was one squirrel like that was named Bliss in the GameCube version, who had like the island flower in her hair, that was also technically the same character as one of the other squirrels. So I drew both of them, but whatever, the flower and the hair makes her different enough, it's fine. So maybe there was a duplicate in there, I don't know. The math, yeah. The maths for my brain. I just remember saying a lot in like posts that I'd make, like, I drew every single villager, all 480. So that number's in my brain now. And like there was probably an easier way to like find a list of all the villagers too, but I was manually going through like a couple different fan wikis, and the one I was using was unreliable, so like half my YouTube videos I apologize. I'm like, oh sorry, I missed so and so in the letter F or G, because I wasn't paying close enough attention, and B, the fan wiki that I was using was like not great. But then I found a better one that was more accurate, so I just stuck to that one. I'm sure now there's just a page on one of the wikis that just has an alphabetical list that's very easy. But it was just like, I remember it was like by letter. It was an alphabetical list, but some of the links didn't work and stuff, so like I had trouble with it, but whatever. I'm sure it's all fixed now. Alright, we're gonna do a clipping mask. We're gonna make this like a little bit less opaque. Do this yeller shape. Nookiepedia. I think that's the one that I ended up using, but it was the first site I found when I looked like Animal Crossing list of all villagers. It was like animalcrossing.fanwiki.co.uk, or you know what I mean, like some like unofficial fan wiki. And their list was like either incomplete or like gave me trouble, or I wasn't paying close enough attention to how it was structured, or something. I don't know. I had issues with it because I skipped a couple and people would leave in the comments like, oh, you forgot my favorite villager of all time, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. So I'd tack them into the next video. My YouTube videos were so bad, by the way, but like, it's fine. Everybody gets to make like their first 100 videos are bad, and I've made less than 100 videos, so I still have many more bad videos left in me. But people still like them, so that's fine. I can't bear to watch them anymore, but I just leave them up for archive's sake. Like I was thinking the other day, like I would kill to have all my old art from when I was like 12, 13 years old. I don't have any of that stuff anymore. A couple of my friends have held on to stuff that I drew for them when I was a teenager or preteen. And I thank them for that, because like that's the last like remnants of that stuff. And note to anybody in here who's young and like thinks their art's cringe or whatever, do not throw that stuff away, because you're gonna wish you had it in like 10 years, I swear. I wish I had all my cringe art. That's still me, you know, like it's a piece of my history, it's a piece of me. I wish I had all that stuff. I have one friend who I did a very basic and pretty bad painting of a peregrine falcon in high school. And I gave it to him because it was his favorite bird. And he takes it with him and sends me a photo of it every time he moves to a new apartment or house or whatever. It's the first thing he puts up in his new place, and he sends me the picture of it. So I'm glad somebody held on to it. I'm planning to do a family group photo for all your Animal Crossing Islanders. Oh, I did a Christmas one. I don't think it's on my iPad. I'll have to find it. Yeah, it's not on this iPad. One second. Maybe I can airdrop it to myself. I just saw it on, because I was on Reddit asking for art critique, and it's on my old Reddit posts, because I did post it to the Animal Crossing subreddit. My villagers changed a little bit since this photo, so... Oh, of course it's opening like this tiny little preview of it for ants. Let me airdrop this over to my iPad. Airdrop. Let's open this image in a new tab. Let me just screenshot it and send it over. Sorry for the delay, folks. I do want to show this really quick, though. So there's my old Animal Crossing art from a few years ago. When was this posted? Oh my gosh, when was this? Show me the post. 4 years ago. Whoa, I'm old. Yeah, this is old art. Let me open up that ref for later. Okay. And then minimize this. But yeah, 4 years old. Let me move it a little bit so it's like not cut off. There we go. I have to hold it. But yeah, there's the gang's all there, or the gang as they were 4 years ago. Amelia's no longer on my island. That monkey, I can't even remember the monkey's name. The monkey's not on the island anymore. But I think everybody else in that photo is. I have Coach now, and I have an empty house that, like, I signed on to send my sister some Christmas stuff because she wanted Christmas items. And Amelia moved out, and I had not had a replacement yet, so I have no idea who the 10th is right now. Yeah, thank you. Even though it's old, it's still cute. Yeah, I still dig it. I like it. It's a good piece, I think. I was going kind of for, like, a fake anime screenshot kind of thing, I think, because I did, like, a bloom filter on top of, like, skinny lines. Not like anime, but, like, I don't know, 90s cartoon or something. I don't know. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Been on a couple little mini side quests tonight. That's fine. My brain's not here anyways. But I guess I'll see who's on my island and maybe do a new family portrait of the new gang. I do want to do a standalone piece of Coach, I think. I got him from a friend's island because she didn't like him. But I did his house, like, since you can, like, decorate the villagers' houses with the Island Paradise pack. I did his house full of, like, brown bottles implying, like, beer bottles and, like, gym equipment and, like, a ratty looking couch and stuff, and it's my favorite house on my whole island. Besides Bob's house, which is just, like, this kid-core paradise. And Hopper's house is really cool, too. It's, like, a cool New York City apartment kind of deal. I'll have to do, house tours of my villagers' houses and put that video together. Because I think my villager houses are actually really good. And I'd like to share them. If you have Chai's card, you know what? All my cards I let my friend borrow, and my friend just has them, which is fine, because my friend ended up playing Animal Crossing quite a bit more than I did for a while. So, I do not currently have Chai's card. I could get it if I went back to Michigan to go get it. I could, because I do like Chai. But I have access to all those items or whatever, the Sanrio items. So if I don't want the elephant, but I want the stuff, I have all that. And actually, I have a full item catalog and full recipe DIY catalog because I paid somebody on Etsy to, like, go to their hacked island to, like, pick up and drop every item in the game so I could reorder it. Because I'm a bad Animal Crossing player. And I didn't want to wait like 5 years or whatever of real-time play to get every item in the catalog, so I'm like, you know what, forget it. So I paid real US dollars to get a full item catalog, and now I don't even play the game anymore. But for a while it was good, so. I have like a cool forced perspective city thing going on my island now. I have a very old island tour that I think I unlisted, but I should do a new one. Maybe. I have to kill all the cockroaches in my house first, though, before I do that, so. Alright. Do I need any other layers? Oh, I need the toenails on their own layer. So let's do that really quick. We'll make that a clipping mask as well. I'll just make them orange right now and then I'll fix it. Ooh. Let's make this somewhat visible. Can I see the shape? Okay, yeah. I just want to see the shape I'm doing. I know the toenails are not going to be black like this, but that's fine. Just want to see that shape. And similarly here. Do this. And then did I already do the line on... Yes, I already did this on a new layer. We'll put that way on top. Not a clipping mask. Do that. Alpha lock. Make the eyes white. Let's see, with the 2.0, your villagers barged into your house when I was in the middle of killing cockroaches. Yeah, I hate that. That's so annoying. It's always in the middle of decorating that they come in, and you just you pretend you're leaving your own house, like, oh, I better get going, and I'm like, okay, see ya, and then you immediately go back to decorating. I wish there was a way to turn that off, but oh well. Ooh. I'll never, and every YouTuber who played Animal Crossing has said the same thing, so this is not at all a hot take, but it's like, they made the best-selling Nintendo game of all time, and they just stopped updating it. Like, they must hate money. Like, people would have continued paying for, like, DLC and stuff for years for that game, and they just didn't do it. What am I looking at? What am I trying to do here? Okay. Bring that up. I wanted to, okay, on a clipping mask we can do the tail color separately here. We're gonna go in and change these colors real quick in a second, just tidying up some stuff. Ooh. Like this needs to go underneath the arm more. Okay, that's correct. And then on a separate clipping mask I want to do a darker color on the bottom of this foot. And then I want to do a line for the bow, and then I think we can get to changing colors and cleaning up little stuff like the toenails here. This is supposed to be a quick warm-up too, but I'm spending so much time on it. That's okay. And then I want to do the tongue. We make that a clipping mask as well. And we'll keep the tongue simple. Simple shape. And we'll do a little bit of line art on that layer as well. Just to separate top from the bottom. Do that here as well. No, I don't need this. I just want... You know what, maybe I don't need anything. I'm just gonna make the middle part darker. Keep it simple. I don't want to add more lines if I'm doing lineless, you know. That defeats the point. So, we're gonna turn all the opacity up of all this stuff. Crank it all the way up. Then we're gonna do the fun part, which is changing the colors. I'm gonna fix this really quick. I like the uneven lines, but I want them to be a little bit more even. And same with this blue pom-pom. Like, I like some of these holes and like imperfections, but it's too many. It's just slightly too many for my taste, so I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. There we go. And then same thing here. Bring the opacity all the way up. I want to fix the eyes just a little bit as well here. Okay. Okie dokie. Now I want to take this base layer, duplicate, oops, I have a better idea. To merge that down, duplicate, put them in the corner over here. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's not on top of the white layer. Okay. We're going to leave the polka dot background exactly as is, but this is our little color key for what the base color actually is. So we're going to change these colors now, one by one. We're going to have some fun with it. Let's do this Nico roll brush, and just do a couple different shades of blue just to make it interesting. Maybe lean a little bit more purple. Maybe a little bit brighter purple. Just to add a little bit more color in there. Lighter blue at the top. Adds a nice kind of texture too. And we'll do the same on the other blue pom-pom. Alpha lock that. Get a nice light blue. Get some of that funky purple in. And get that base color blue as well. We'll go and do the same thing with the yellow. I kind of like the orange that's in there, but we'll just fade it to the bright yellow at the top because I like how that looks. Makes it pretty dynamic, I think. Maybe even a little bit of a brighter redder orange around the edges. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Still reads as yellow, but it's a little bit more dynamic, interesting. And then let's do the main pink color. And I don't want to blend it into that warm pink because this is a cool toned pink, so I might do even a little bit more purple. And we're gonna really soften up these colors. I don't want her to be as textured as the pom-pom. I want her to have more of a smooth texture. So I'm gonna smudge this around a little bit too in a second. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what colors look good. And to brighten up the trunk, maybe warm up that pink just a little bit. Do a little bit of peachiness on the head and then fade it into the purple. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a lot more subtle, but I'm into it. Yeah, it's like peach pinky purple. But still is mostly that base color that she actually is. So something like that. Just trying to see it zoomed down, zoomed in, zoomed out. Yeah, I think that's pretty good base color. And it's pretty subtle already. I might not even need to smudge this around to smooth it out. It's pretty smooth. I just didn't want her to look as like grungy as the pom-poms. We're gonna do darker purple on this foot. Maybe even cooler than that. No, let's see what it looks like with the pink and then fade that to purple. Oh, I like that better. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna erase the edge of this foot because I want this to have kind of a nice crisp edge here. And then what is going on with the toenails here? What is happening? Like, yeah, I like drew this bottom part for no reason. No idea why I did that. I'm just gonna erase that really quick. Maybe not fully, because I'm gonna repaint this also. It's white anyway. I think that's fine. And then fill in some of the gaps. I wish there was a version of this dry ink brush that still had like a few little gaps, but just like 50% less. Because I find myself going into cleanup because I like the little gaps, but I don't know. Slightly too many. Alright. Alpha lock. I could probably edit it in the brush editor, but who has time? Alright, we're gonna do white toenails. Okay, looks good. Maybe separate these toenails just a smidge. That looks pretty cute. And then actually, this is already alpha locked. Gonna maybe do slight purple shading. Just to help have that stand out against the background. I'm actually gonna use the round render brush for this, just something really soft, but still slightly fuzzy and textured. Still smooth. Okay. It was just blending too much into that background, and maybe it would look better, because I know this is on... Yeah, it stands out well enough on the yellow, it's fine. Okay. Just a tiny bit of shading, I think that's okay. Now, I'm just gonna get rid of that layer. What is this pink behind the bow right here? Oh, that's this layer. I just turned that off. Beautiful. Alright. This is gonna be a bright, bright pink bow. I'm gonna do the same thing with this big Nico roll brush. Maybe a little bit purple on this side. Ooh, I like how vibrant that is with the little pop of purple. I dig that. And we're gonna do brighter pink, like right here, perhaps? Just to visually, like, make that look like a separate thing. Maybe this whole middle section will just be a different color. Yeah, I think that's fine, perhaps. Maybe something in the middle. Does that read? Oh, that's tricky. It was going so well with the hot pink too. Maybe a slightly deeper hot pink for the middle part. Yeah, I think that's better. That's a better call than the like salmon-y light pink. Okay, I like that better. And then get a little bit of light pink on the edge of the bow here. Cute, I'm into that. I want to fix this real quick though. Okay. Sorry, I'm giving everybody motion sickness, zooming in and out 800,000 times. I want a little bit more of that hot pink on the left. And just a little bit of lighter pink in the corner. Because I like how vibrant the hot pink is and I want to preserve that. Okay, I dig that. Next, the back ear. Basically the same as the base. We're going to take this like grayish bubblegummy pink as a base and then maybe darken it up. Or brighten it up. Yeah, brighten it up a little bit. Maybe even lighten it. Right behind the bow. And then fade it into purple. I just want to be able to read the bow, but also have it be darker. It's tricky. Maybe a little bit more saturated and a little cooler. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Just have it be a pop of purple. Yeah, I dig that. I'm into that conceptually. I didn't notice till now my hair is just this big chunk falling in my face. I just peeked up at my stream to make sure it was working okay, and my hair is just like in my face. Need a hair clip. Well, it's not bothering me as I draw, I guess. I just noticed it on cam. We're gonna make this. It's just funny that it's like this string of hair coming down. Oh well. Why is this? Oh, this is a different layer. Oops. Yeah, it's down here. And the tail is just darker pink. The inside of the mouth. I want it to be black, but not pure black. So maybe like a deep reddish purple. Even more saturated so it reads a little more red. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. And then a little bit lighter at the bottom. Now I kind of want this line to be darker because I want it to be darker than the inside of the mouth. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. What I could do is I could. Oh, it's already alpha locked. Just do like a dark pink and then like fade it in. Just to make that a little bit less, yeah. Yeah. A little bit less harsh. And then we're gonna clean up the edge here and make this really sharp right here. Because I like the cheek being a pink, but I want that line above the mouth to be darker than the mouth, if that makes sense. Because it looks a little funny to me when it's like lighter. So we're gonna lightly brush that in too. Maybe that's too dark. Just leave it alone. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good from a distance. It looks okay close up. I'm thinking way too much about stuff like this. Alright. That's good. And then we're going to fade Actually, just use that. That looks great. And what else needs color? Well, I guess I need to do maybe just a little bit of shine on the eyes, but I want to fix the eye shape a little bit. Because I like wonky, but this is like unintentional wonky instead of intentional designed wonky. I'm going to even it out a little bit and fill in some of these gaps. Even it out a little bit. Fill in some of these gaps. And do an eye shine on top. Because I like the flat look, but I'm kind of a sucker for an eye shine. I was looking at my portfolio the other day because I'm redoing it to be like more like that Bear Burger piece, you know? And I'm like, dang, I really do like an eye shine though. Like the Animal Crossing, the update characters piece, they all have eye shines, and I'm like, I still really like that piece. It's kind of a blend of my old style and my new style. I think it came out well. And the polka dots we're just gonna leave alone, though I might add... Let's actually bring this texture all the way to the top. And we're really gonna up the amount of texture a little bit. A little grit and grain. And one last thing is I want to change the tongue color here. This outline color. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe background color I'm going to lighten and brighten just a hair. Just to make the light pink trunk pop out a smidge more. But I think that looks pretty cute. I said warm up, but I've been working on it for like an hour. Almost, but... What do we think? It'll give me a break to get some water here. It looks so much brighter on OBS than it does on my iPad. Why? Hold on. I want to do something really quick. Because I want you to see what I'm seeing, but it's like everything is slightly too bright. We're going to flatten the whole image here. Don't want to do that. You have to flatten it, like, in a weird way. You can't select it on a clipping layer. What? Why won't it do that? I just want to flatten everything. Just let me flatten everything. Not like that. Oh my gosh. What a pain. Okay. We'll flatten this. And then I want to take the brightness down just a smidge. Saturation up a smidge. See, this is a little closer to what it looked like on my iPad, the original. It's so weird the colors are like that too. And I thought it was because I was selecting like P3 color format, which is like iPad only, Retina only color, but I use RGB. Looks way better than the line version. Thank you. I think so too. Lines in general, for simple characters, I think takes away from some of the charm. For complex characters though, like we're gonna get into Puck from Dota 2, I think the lines benefit more complex characters because it helps define more complex shapes and stuff like that. But I agree, for a character like this, lineless all the way. Simple and cute. Alright. One more sip of water. Breathe. I hope that's not like horrible ASMR sounds. Alright. Moving on. Yeah, like, it's so weird. The thumbnail of the second, the adjusted one, looks identical to how the first one looks on my iPad screen. It's so weird. Anyhow. Who are you coloring today? So I just finished this beautiful elephant whose name I forgot again. Let me see in the chat. The bear's iconic. Oh my gosh. Somebody said... Oh my god. Anyway, this elephant, Frenchie I think her name is. Excuse me if I'm wrong. This cute character from last week. And then also from last week, I did Puck from Dota 2, who I'm going to finish up here shortly. And then I started Sailor Moon, who I'll be finishing in the last, like, chunk of the stream. So we're going to move on to Puck from Dota 2. Most of the heavy lifting here is going to be the colored outlines and, like, adding some stripes and stuff like that. So let's get on, first of all, I want to make the color of the background like something a little bit more magical looking, or sci-fi, or fantasy, or something otherworldly, and then I can add like a glow or something, because the plain white is not working for this character, I don't think. I don't know anything about Dota 2, by the way, so just a request. Put white back in that eye. A lot of heavy lifting here is going to be the stripes, which I'm going to add in a second as a clipping mask, and then the colored outlines. Do I want to just do a blue? Yeah, let's do that really quick. I'm going to show you the power of just, even if it's not the right color, like just taking the lines from being black to being vibrant bluish purple. Like, let's try this color as a starting point. We can always change it. But immediately that softens up the character and like illuminates the character and adds like a glow. Like, it's so much better than it was with the black. Like, the eye I have to change back to like that amber color, but so I'm gonna be careful to not actually paint over that, but like, how much better is that? We're not gonna paint over the eye. I'm gonna go around it. And then the wings I'll change at the end, because I want to, there's some like swirls and stuff and different like orange colors I have to do on them as well. So we'll do that in a bit. I'm just taking care to not paint that mouth line, which I want to be higher contrast and black. And go around here, and then I can be kind of sloppy with the rest of it and just do that. But look how much better it is with just black outlines work for very stylistic art or comic book art or something where you want a character to look very bold or dramatic. But for 99.9% of the stuff I do, I don't really want black outlines. Like, I do it for sketches, but not for colored art so much. Just gonna erase. Let me merge these down. And then I'm going to do a basic shading layer on top of everything with the round render brush and kind of going with that. As a clipping mask, I think. So we'll do the thing that I love to do, which is like use a bunch of shortcuts to make it look like I spent tens of hours on something when I spent like between last stream and this stream like 3 hours max. Like, you know, maybe not tens of hours, but it'll look like I put more time into it than I did. I work smarter than harder, you know? Work smarter rather than harder. Just filling in some of these gaps that I didn't really care for. Okay, and we're gonna do the same colored lines on the wings for now, which will change because there's gonna be some orange, as I said, going in here, and some swirly shapes and whatnot. But that already looks so much better. And then just the background, let's do, I want to do something kind of glowy. So we'll do this color and then maybe teal. Let's just try this out and see. Nope, don't like that. Let's try this. And just swish it around and change it to a different color. Adjustment layer or something. Just add some texture and some whatever. Something. Let's just mess around. See, color dodge? That's alright. Ooh, I kind of like that vivid light. It's really subtle, but I kind of like that actually. It's like a subtle glow. I'm kind of into that. It's basic, but it's, you know, it's doing something. Something's happening there. Though I do want this to be just a little bit more saturated. There. That's alright. It's doing something. It's giving me something. Who's this character? This is Puck from Dota 2. This was a request from last week. I don't know anything about Dota 2. So he throws balls and is a fairy dragon. Yeah, there you go. Your answer's in the chat. Alright, we're going to leave that blue alone for right now, because I'm going to overthink it. I do want to add a noise layer just on top of this, because that's my solution to make things look better. It's just like throw some texture on it. Alright, that's whatever. We'll work with that for now. I think adding in orange and highlights and stuff is going to make that look a lot better too. So what I want to do first is do the stripes. And I'm looking at two different reference images for this character. I'm going to put them both on my screen side by side so I can see what the heck I'm looking at here. And hopefully I'm not missing any crucial striped areas. Alright. I'm just gonna use, let me take this like pink from the wings, purple I guess, and then tint it more peachy. Because there's like this peachy, it's a new color now, it's not even tinted. Let's just do peachy, pinkish, whatever. Because it's kind of like a pinky orange thing going on. And it looks like on the hands there's a few different shapes. I'm trying to picture what they look like upside down and right side up. We're gonna stylize it. And we're gonna call it stylized. And this is way too orange. This should be more pink. But I'll fix it. We're gonna call it stylized and not accurate because the fan art and the official art are much different than how I'm gonna do it probably. So I'm just drawing it as I see it and how I feel. Looks like the fingers have the color on them as well. The fingertips. And the fingertips are more bulbous at the end, so I'm going to change that really quickly. They're not really pointed. At least not in what I'm looking at is fan art, so whatever. But I do like that, so I'm going to round out the fingertips just a smidge. I like that approach. There we go. Oh, but there was claws too. You know what? I'm gonna add claws. This is what you get when you have fan art and official art open at the same time. Let's just pretend I didn't do that. There we go. There's some claws. This orange is good for right now because it stands out really bright. On his little thing here, he's got a couple stripes, it looks like. Fingertips with a stripe. And similar on the other hand. I'm going to style it the same way on both hands here. It's kind of like these crescent shapes. Like so. These neck things that are like dashes, I kind of want to make them a little bit bigger and a little bit more organic looking and uneven instead of like stitching. It is kind of like stitching, but just want to make it a little blobbier, more organic looking. So something like that. Oop. I didn't mean to undo both of those. I didn't mean to. Something like that. And then he has additional arms that also have the same kind of coloring. Wrong layer. Wow. Do this. And I gotta fix this. There we go. So you could see another finger back there. And this is one of those things where you don't zoom in very far, because if you zoom in you can see the jagged edges there. We don't talk about that. We pretend we do not see it, because when you zoom out you can't. So it's fine. This is why you shouldn't work on your pieces at more than 200% zoom in. Fun fact. Alright, and then there we go. But zoomed out it looks pretty good, so I'm not losing sleep over it. Oh, and I did want this to all be on this layer, that way when I go to recolor it, it's all... Okay, good. And then similar like stripes and things on the legs. I'm just kind of doing it as I feel it. Also the feet, the toes have the same highlight color. And it looks like maybe a couple marks on the top of the foot. Just gonna add in a bit here. Is there any on the stomach or anything? It doesn't look like it. Let me see if I can get a picture of just the arms here in a new tab. Puck Dota 2. Arms. Show me them arms. Google? Oh, there's fan art of him as a baby. That's cute. Not what I was looking for, but... Oh, and I was right to change the neck markings to be a little bit more blobby and organic, because that's kind of how it looks in this other ref I'm looking at. Interesting. Okay, here's a good picture of his arms. Okay, cool. I think it's fan art also, but it's kind of like more of these curves, and they're kind of going in different directions up the arm. So I'm going to imitate that, because I like that, like, back and forth kind of thing. I like that effect. And let's go to that one with the neck thing. Yeah, they're kind of like triangular almost. Like blobby triangles, these dashes. Alright, so I'm gonna fix that. And there's not that many of them, it's like 3 or 4. I think I might have put too many, but I'm gonna stick with what I did last week. Just improving on it. It's not, oh my gosh, this is not on the right layer, okay. Erase all this. Do this on the right layer. I forgot this is on the same layer as the outlines. So we'll go back up here. Blob out these kind of dash shapes and make them more into like rounded triangles. More like the ref I'm looking at. A little bit more organic. Separate these a little bit. Something like this. Okay. I think this one's a little too long, prominent there. That looks a little bit more like the ref I'm looking at. And there's going to be another color like on this collar area here I have to do as well. Alright, stripes are basically in place. I'm just double checking my ref images I have open. I think that's where the accent colors are, aside from the wings. The wings are a whole separate thing I'm going to get to in a sec. I'm going to simplify the wings also. Alright, so clipping mask on top of the wings. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to do one layer that's like a chunk of orange, and then a layer on top that's like the swirl shapes, because I'm going to really try to simplify and break down into simple shapes what's going on with the wing here. Because I think I can get away with, maybe I can just do it as one layer if I'm like stylizing it and making it my own, you know? Actually, let me pull up one more picture of Puck wings. Puck Dota 2 wings. Show me them wings, Google. Okay. That's a better ref. Actually, the picture of him as a baby, the fan art. I like how they approach the wings. So I'm just gonna try to stylize. Hello, I am working on nicer color of a sketch I started last week of Puck from Dota 2, sketch request I did from last week. I also worked on this elephant from last week, made her lineless. And after Puck, I will be working on Sailor Moon for about an hour or so. I might not finish her tonight, we'll see. We'll see how fast I can do Puck. What is the best way to stylize this? Alright, I got an idea. I'm gonna do it my way. So I'm gonna follow the contour of the wings and then do a spiral shape that's like kind of accurate to what the character looks like, but also exaggerated and stylized in a way that I see fit. Bring that up into the shape of the wing. And then we're gonna do some like funky orange and purple gradient stuff. We're gonna try the Stickman brush out again. Because it's kind of like orange and purple swirling together softly. Or like peach and purple. It's less orange and more peach. But we'll mess with that in a minute. I'm just trying to get these shapes to look pleasing to my eye, even if it is less than canon. I like the kind of like square spiral thing. I want this spiral at the end to be taller like that. Because if you look up ref of this character like I am right now, there's like some beautiful soft painting going on in the fan art and the official art and stuff. And I'm more on a solid shape kick, so we're gonna see what I can do with my own kind of look and approach to it. We're gonna do the same amount of swirls. Okay, fix that. So I want the swirls to kind of imitate each other. Oops, we're gonna fix that so it's not bumping into each other. Out like that. Sorry, I went dead silent working on and my hair is falling in my face again. I can feel it this time. Next stream, I'll get a bobby pin. Kind of like it's like when you get your nails done, ladies, and you get the squoval, where it's like square but rounded at the end a little bit. I like a squoval nail. That's what it's reminding me of, the kind of swirl shape I'm kind of leaning into here. Which I need to get my nails done because they're just basic. Your head out, have a good rest of your night. You have a good rest of your night as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Alright, and we're going to do the same treatment on all the other wings, but it should go a little faster for these ones because I kind of have a inspiration of how they should look over on the other wings. So something like this. And also, I forgot to ask, because some weeks it works, some weeks it doesn't work. Is the Animal Crossing background music working for you guys? Because on my OBS it says it's fine, like the audio is like working. But it said that one week and then everybody said there's no background music, so I'm just making sure it works. It's not a huge deal if it doesn't work, I like it better. Because if I am focusing on something and I'm silent for a few seconds, I don't feel like it's totally dead air, you know? I like the comfort and security of knowing that there's some light piano music playing in the background. I think it makes for a more soothing atmosphere as well. And I excluded it from my taste profile so it will not be my #1 most listened to on Spotify for my Spotify Wrapped when I do that at the end of 2025. Because that was my entire Wrapped, was just like, you really loved Animal Crossing lo-fi whatever. I'm like, or it was just on all my streams, I guess, but oh jeez, it totally ruined my whole Wrapped. But now I've put it all in a playlist where I can exclude it from my taste profile so it shouldn't show up again at the end of the year. But it was pretty funny. Because it's called like Sounds of Wonder or something, is like the specific account that uploads the like royalty-free cover versions of Animal Crossing on piano. And so it's just like, wow, you really love this artist. You were in the top 0.1% for this artist. And I'm like, I bet I was. They can thank me for their like $5 they made from my streams alone. Because I know Spotify only pays like a fraction of a penny per stream. But listen, they probably made enough to go out and get something to eat from my streams alone, so kudos. Would they all go the... Oh my gosh, this one would be backwards. That's my oopsie. We can fix this, we have the technology. Yeah, these ones would be swirling this way. Okay, that's not that bad of a fix. I'm glad I caught that now, because that would have really, really irritated me like 20 minutes from now. That's better. Like, actually we want it to go one more time around, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yeah. Something like that. Then we're gonna fix this. Just tilt it a little bit. There, that feels better. And then one more tilted this a ways. This is a really rough shape, but I'm just trying to see if it fits into this wing. Yeah. Like thicker at the top. And I'll use my eraser tool a lot on this one, I think. Yep. To even it out. You can hear music? Great. Wonderful. Because there was like 2 or 3 streams, I think, or maybe it was just 2, where OBS said it was working and it just wasn't. So, but I think I figured it out. I think I fixed it. Makes me happy to hear that it's all working correctly. And then we're gonna stretch that down because that is not as far down as the other wings. We're just gonna distort this. Pull it down. And then clean it up. Yeah, something like that. Alright, so a very stylized approach to how these wings are drawn, because this is not how they look in the rough. But we're gonna do some things to kind of address that. So first of all, this color, we're gonna take and we're gonna tint it a little bit more pink to kind of go with the purple a little bit. And then we're going to alpha lock it. We're going to duplicate it actually just in case I totally screwed up. And we're going to paint a few different shades of like, we want it to fade into the purple wings a little bit at the bottom, but not totally get lost. So we're just going to mess around with it until it looks more blended in. Because his wings are actually much darker. They're like a dark purpley gray in the ref I'm looking at. But I like the kind of bright, funky Stickman brush colors that I got when I was messing around last week. I like that kind of artistic flair to it, so I think it's okay if the wings are a little bit too bright and a little too stylized at the top. But I do like the idea of having them blend in at the bottom a little bit more. So you get a little bit of that softness. So maybe just at the bottom. Maybe I'll even smooth this out with this brush. So let's take this brush and really like ease up that transition a little bit and make it a little less textured, a little less grungy, crunchy, whatever. Just smooth it out. That already looks better, just kind of fading it into the background like that. Just fade these in. Ooh, what we could even do, hold on, I have a great idea. Another way to get a fade in is we can also, I'm going to duplicate this again because we have the layers to work with and it's fine. We're going to do a mask. I'm going to paint with this nice soft brush. Black erases, white brings back. So if say I get rid of all of it, it's fine. White will bring it back. We love masks. Non-destructive layer editing. So I'm going to softly blend in, buff in some of the black. And then I'm going to wash it with white at the end to bring some of it back. So we don't want it to totally fade. I don't want to totally lose the shape. but I do want to like buff it in, you know, blend it like doing eyeshadow. You're buffing, you're blending. I'm going to bring some of that shape back with a little bit of white, because I do want to see the bottom of that spiral a little bit. Okay, that's already looking much better. I wouldn't say it's accurate to the character, but it's more accurate than it was. Fuck is weird to hear the voice. Yeah. I haven't heard the voice yet, actually. Alright. Sorry, let me close that. I didn't mean to open that. Alright. And then I want to do, at the very tip of the wing, I would like to do like actual orange, because I want to bring in some of this orange from the eye. So I'm gonna like, ooh, that looks really cool actually. So it's a little exaggerated and not exactly like what the character looks like, but I feel like the intent is there. I feel like the vibe is there, you know what I mean? And then also I want to alpha lock the outline layer, and we're gonna take some of this pink and like blend it into the purple wing color and like highlight the tips of these wings, because I think that looks really cool. Like I said, the colored outlines are going to do a lot of heavy lifting here. I think that looks pretty sweet actually. I like the purple, orange, blue thing going on here. What I could do is also, I'm going to take the wings and I'm going to just lower the brightness a little bit. And the saturation just a smidge. Yeah, I like that darker. I like that darker look. I'm going to turn off the alpha lock for just a second because I want to address these big gaps at the top here. Little gaps, fine. These are too big. Because I can notice them even when it's zoomed out. If you can see it when it's zoomed out, it's too much. Something like that. Like this one. This one, this one. Alright. That's looking a lot better. Now, I'm going to erase this a little bit here. I'm going to do a clipping mask on top of this, and I want to go in and do this like darker blue shade for this like collar thing here, right behind these like funky orange pink. I'm going to change the color of these two and the stripes, but I want to do a nice soft collar shape in here. And I'm going to change this so it's not just solid blue also. But I like the round rounder brush for stuff like this because you can kind of buff it in and paint it. Kind of like that. Oh, I have to highlight the ends of his little like antenna too. With that orange. Like dark blue and then orange on top, it looks like. Alright, that looks fun. Alpha lock that. Brighter on top, and then a little bit more saturated and darker at the bottom. Right? Yeah. That looks good to me. And I'm going to lower the opacity of that just a smidge too, because it kind of is blended into his skin color as well, but just a little bit darker. Alright. Then actually, on this same layer, I'm going to paint... Well, no, oh, it's alpha locked. I was like, why won't it let me paint like right here? On his little snaky chin thing. We'll get you the Russian followers. Yeah. You were telling me he's beloved. And it's like... It's these two bulbous ones that are like, not brown, blue, and then have a little bit of the orange on top. So we're going to do that. At least that's what I'm seeing in the ref I'm looking at. So we're rolling with that. Just do a little highlight on each one, just to keep it interesting. But I also want to take this whole layer and tint it maybe a little bit more pinkish hue. Yeah, just a little bit more pink. Just a smidge less saturated. Let's see how that looks on stream before I say yes. I think that looks good. I think that looks good. And this belly is textured, which I'm not crazy about. Like, I like a little bit of texture, but I'm just gonna smudge it out a little bit. There we go. Soften it a little bit. Okay. Why did I hallucinate that there was like a lime green line right here? It's just like the contrast of that black against that bright blue or something. I don't know. I just fully hallucinated there being like a neon green line and going, why did I add that? Alright. Now we're gonna do the tail. Yes, the tail. Same idea, it's like dark blue, and then with... I want this blue. It's like a darkish purple, more than blue, but I'm gonna erase some of that on the hands as well. And then orange at the end. That peach orange at the end, it looks like. Why won't it let me draw it on there? Oh, alpha lock, duh. Alright. There we go. Bring that in. Do a little bit of that magic. We're stylizing it like that because I like it. I like just the soft little bit of it there. And then I think I'd like to do on top of all this a highlight layer. I'm just going to do plain white and we're going to mess with it after. Just do some fast, quick, like cell shading style. Imagine there's like, I don't know, the light coming from up top here. That's in my mind where it's coming from. So we'll just add this everywhere the light touches. And maybe it's moonlight, which is why it's so dark. But he's kind of glowing on his own because he just has a very vibrant color scheme. We'll go with moonlight, so maybe I'll tint it light blue and add a bloom or something. Which I think would be kind of cool. And then add like a nice color adjustment layer on top. To tint everything and make it look more moonlit, perhaps. And I don't think the rest of this, like, it would be a little too far away to get, like, this down here isn't gonna get lit up, I don't think, maybe. I mean, you can exaggerate and do whatever you want, but like, I'll add a little bit to the hand just because I think that's alright. And then maybe some on the tail just because I like the tail and I want it to stand out. Another quick way to make it stand out, we're going to change the outline color. Ooh, not that. Make it darker pink. Yeah, that looks better. That looks cool. Except for all these gaps, which we're gonna fix right now. There we go. Ooh, and I could do a little bit of highlight on the eyebrow ridge as well. Let's alpha lock that and make it... What's this brightest shade of blue? We're gonna go even a little bit brighter and lighter than that. Ooh, that's a little too green. Blue? Tint that white and make it bluish, perhaps. Perhaps, what is this? And then on a new layer, we're gonna bloom that, see if it'll... Wow, that does not want to do what I want it to do. Burn. Yeah, we'll make it crazy and then we'll pull it back. Because, like, this on the leg just looks crazy, so we're just gonna get rid of this. We don't need it to be, like, highlight and bloom down there. It's fine. It's soft enough here, but I want to change it. So it's, like, something funky. Overlay is really... Yeah, overlay, because it's really subtle. It just adds a little bit of softness around everything, which I dig. And then we're gonna do a shadow layer. We're also gonna clipping mask that, and it's just gonna be really simple. I'm just gonna like take a dark purple and just go over everything, and then change the color layer, and then carve out what I don't want to be in shadow. So let's just do... Ooh, overlay looks terrible on that. We can also change the color. Pin light actually looks okay. That's not bad. And then we're gonna mask that. And just go in and buff out wherever we don't want it to be dark. We can add it back in if we messed up. Because, like, I don't know muscle anatomy very well. I'm just kind of doing what I think looks right, you know? But I feel like there would be mass at the bottom of this shape here. And it would, like, it would be soft because it's moonlit. So I feel like there would be a defined, like, bicep, or not bicep, shoulder there. I want some of these stripes to be lit, too. And then I'm gonna, like, lower the opacity of all this anyway, so. Just cuz. Belly would be like that. Leg would be like this. Have the hand be lit up a little bit. I'm no master of light and anatomy, but I'm just doing what feels correct. We're going to lower the opacity of that a smidge. It gives a little bit of definition, wouldn't you say? And I think that's all the like main stuff I wanted to do. Now, of course, I have to do a layer of noise. Let's do that. Ooh, yeah. That adds something funky. Funky fresh. And then I want to try to sell the moonlit thing. I'm just going to try an adjustment layer of like some kind of bright blue over top of the entire image, not that. I don't know why it did that. The entire image. Oh, it's because this is such a reference. I'm like, why is it doing this to me? Hello? Okay. There we go. That confused me for a moment. Just gonna mess around and see what looks cool, if anything. Not full opacity either. Let's try tinting it nighttime-ish. Let's see. It's kind of, that's like dramatic. This is not what I want, but like, look how scary that is. Saturation hue, maybe? No, that's not doing anything for me. Maybe none of these. Maybe it was good the way it was, but I always like to try. Because it can't hurt to mess around with the last minute, like, color adjustment, you know? See, I like the way the ad looks on the body, that bloom, but like it's just washing it out. Maybe a smidge of overlay. There we go. I think that looks alright. I messed around with that too much. Alright. Not my big chunk of hair, just like that the entire stream. Alright. I think that looks pretty cool. It looks good on the... It looks a little bit more subtle on the iPad than on the screen that you guys are seeing. It looks a little bit hyper-saturated and crazy, but that's okay. I still think it looks cool. On the iPad, I swear it's not this intense. Is my screen brightness... You know what? This is probably my fault. Like, yep. Yep, it's my fault. Always. Alright, we're gonna lower the opacity a little bit. And actually, I want to do one more adjustment layer. Just to, like, darken it a smidge. Okay, that looks a little bit less crazy to me. That looks good. And now it looks the same on both the iPad and the computer. Who would have thought that it was my fault for turning the screen brightness down? It's always my fault. So what do y'all think? This is Puck from Dota 2. With some more advanced coloring than last week. Finished up. It is 9 Eastern right now, 8 my time. So I'll work on Sailor Moon because she was in the thumbnail, I have to work on her, right? Like, but I won't finish her this week, but I do want to get, like, the base of Sailor Moon in place. I think that'll be the task. And then next week I'll spend, like, the first hour finishing her up. So I'll make that thumbnail, like, the base color of Sailor Moon. Nice, nice. Thank you. I like the wings are not accurate to how the character looks, but I like how I stylized them on the fly. I'm actually happy with that. That texture in the wings, the orange and purple and pink, I think it looks pretty cool. So, Miss Sailor Moon. Now, I don't think the anatomy of any of this is correct, but that's okay. We're doing super stylized, so it's fine. But I wanted to do kind of like the style I did for... I actually want to grab my Mariah Carey artwork I did from, where is it? I think it's in here. I'm just going to screenshot it and bring it in as a sample. But I like this little golden book kind of retro thing mixed with like mid-century modern whatever. It's the stuff I'm into now. Where did we go? Right here? Okay. So I'm just going to bring her in as a reference picture. And this is how I do reference photos. I just drag them into the canvas. I know there's like a tool where you can like have the reference photo in its own little window with an X that you can X out of and stuff, but that's too much for me. See, this is why I always turn the screen brightness down, because it looks like I'm telling you a scary story from camp. So instead of that, I'm gonna actually change the background color so it's not pure white. That might help a little bit. So let's make the background color like a... Let's just make it dark. Let's just make it dark, yeah. Okay, that's a little bit... That's more tolerable. I hate the lighting on my face when it's like... I spend all this time doing my makeup and stuff. It doesn't matter, but, you know, whatever. Alright. So I'm happy enough with the sketch I did. I'm not gonna agonize too much about, like, if the anatomy's right, because, like, it looks fine enough. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna start from the bottom and work our way up. We're gonna do the legs, and then we'll do a boot clipping mask, then do the skirt, and so on and so forth, and work our way up the body. That's what you do too. What do you mean, the like the turning the iPad brightness down? Oh, bringing the images in? Yeah, just dropping them in the canvas. Yeah. There's like a reference image tool where you can have it in its own window and it doesn't show up in the time lapses and stuff, but like I don't care enough to do that. It's so much easier for me to just bring it in and slap it on the canvas somewhere. It's more of like a guiding light for like the kind of vibe I want. It's not like I'm color picking from it or anything. It's just kind of the vibe I'm going for. And maybe off stream I can agonize about if the anatomy's right or not, you know, and get it really, really ready for next week, finishing it up. But let's get the basics in, the basic shapes. Yeah, putting the reference on the canvas. Yeah. You know what? Me and Mariah Carey are kindred spirits on the issue of lighting. She and I are both allergic to overhead lighting, fluorescent lighting, and me specifically, any kind of cool tone lighting. Like, I hate the bright white on my face. I hate blue, cool toned LED lights with a passion. In the kitchen, I like working just by the light over top the stove. Like, I like my room just has a string of Christmas lights. And like candles. Like, I do not do cool tone anything. Lighting wise, I hate it with a passion. And Mariah Carey, every time she's in an interview, talks about how much she hates overhead lighting and fluorescent lighting and bad lighting. Like, I understand. Queen, I understand. Yeah, that's true. It is anime anatomy, especially her legs. Her legs are like crazy long and skinny. But I worry about, like, for me specifically, I think the hands look wrong, but I think if I just lean in and make them look crazy on purpose, it's gonna be fine. It's just because I don't draw people enough, really, is the thing. But if I make everything look exaggerated on purpose, I think I can sell it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really gonna carve into these boots shapes here. And I don't draw anime characters either, so it's this is all new for me, but I like the challenge that I'm giving myself to do it in kind of the same style I did that Mariah Carey piece, because I was very happy with how that Mariah Carey turned out. And I want to do the rest of the albums in that style too. The Mariah Carey subreddit was very happy with the piece. It makes me laugh when, like, it shows you your stats and it's like it had 100% upvotes until like this morning, and now it's 99%. So somebody saw it days later after it was posted, so they had to scroll. They scrolled it and they hated it so much they gave it a thumbs down. It's like, who does that? Like, that's so weird to me. I've never gone out of my way to dislike, like, downvote a post from like days ago. That's Reddit for you. That's a new level of hater. But anyway, the subreddit liked it a lot, and they want me to do the rest of the album covers in that style, and I'm like, actually, I might. I would love to do a whole series, actually. And then I'd love to do Bjork, like all Bjork album covers with the same kind of little golden book style. I think that would be so fun. Some more fun than others. Same with Mariah Carey, because some of her album covers are just like a close-up of her face, and it's like, alright. Like Daydream, I love that album, but the album cover is very boring. It's just like her on a black background. Or Music Box, it's literally just a close-up, like super close-up of like her eyes. Like, that's not gonna be as cute in the style, but like, for completion's sake, I want to do them all, you know? Some will be really fun. Like, Rainbow is going to be a lot of fun. Butterfly is going to be a lot of fun. Is this on the same layer? Okay. I think that works, actually. And some of them are going to be really, really boring, but I want to make sure I have all of them, because every one of them is somebody's favorite, and they're going to be upset if it's not in the collection, you know? So, and I get that, because I love Daydream, but the album cover is very boring, so... Especially 90s anime, yeah, you're not kidding. Like, crazy arms and legs, crazy anatomy, crazy head shapes and eye shapes. Alright. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna do the skirt. And all these colors will be changing, obviously. I'm just getting a feel. There we go. And I'm gonna do a layer on top of this, so pay no mind to this weird shape on the top of the skirt, because it will be hidden in due time. Fill that in and do with the favorite thing with this brush, least favorite thing with this brush. Just fix all the little gaps and errors. I do love this dry ink brush a lot, but I may have to investigate and make my own version of it where it's just textured on the outside of the brush and not necessarily the inside of the brush. Or not as much, because I like some of those dots in there, but like I want to cut it back by like 60%. Because it does add a lot of time to my workflow to go in and like fix up the edges when I could just fill it and be done with it if it was a normal brush, but alas. I do like the texture it adds to the edge of things. And it's otherwise a very good drawing brush. That's my little pet peeve with it. I'm sure there's a way to fix it too. I'll get around to it. I'll make dry brush improved and I'll sell it for $1 on Gumroad. Or pay what you want. It starts at like 50 cents or whatever the minimum is. Alright. Next layer. Let's do this thing on top, this part of the skirt, on its own layer. And here's where I'm going to exaggerate the shape a little bit using the eraser tool at the bottom, because I like the curve that it has, but I don't necessarily want anything to have a perfect curve, because I'm trying to like push it a little bit. So I'm going to have like a straight line and then a curve, maybe. Or maybe I'll just leave it curved, I don't know. No, I like that like paper cutout kind of feel to it. Like you had to cut it out yourself with scissors and you kind of messed it up, but it looks cute, you know? That's something I'm into lately. Is shapes that you could cut out with kid scissors and make paper art of, but done digitally. I'm into it. Yeah, you use it for lines, not color. Yeah, it's great for lines for sure. I use it for color. I don't know why I do. I like how it looks on the edge of shapes. That little fuzzy. I don't know. I like it. Because if I use like round render for color, it's great. It gives these huge blocks of color, but it's like soft on the edge. And nothing else has, as far as textures and brushes I've found yet, has quite the same like rough but still smooth thing on the edge. I don't know. I could do shapes with round render and then outline them in this, but that feels like just as much work as doing what I'm currently doing, so there's gotta be a better way. I don't know. Editing and making my own dry ink brush is the solution there. Because I love this thing, but not the best for big blocks of color. But I make it work. Listen, I make it work. It's fine. Alright, I don't need to fill in all that because that bow's going to cover up all that jazz. This I'm going to do on the same layer because I can do a clipping mask or something to draw those lines on that sleeve thing. Here we go. And I think I got started using dry ink specifically. I think I've told this story on stream before, so forgive me. I saw this guy's art. I think I know his name's like Connor from Work on Instagram, and he's like a Broadway guy. He did Elder Cunningham in an off-Broadway like Book of Mormon or whatever, which is how I found him on TikTok. But he does art too occasionally, or used to. And he did these really good like Disney style pictures of like fan art of Billie Eilish or something like years ago. And I thought the outlines on that looked so good because I liked that texture or whatever. And like somebody asked what brush it was and he said it was dry ink and Procreate, and I was like, oh, I gotta use that. That's the thing that'll make my art good, you know. The delusion everybody has when they find a new brush is like, this is the thing that will make my art good, you know. But I do love it and I've been using it ever since. Because it's a fabulous brush. I'm sure the pieces are still up on his Instagram, but I just remember seeing that and thinking, whoa, that's the brush I've needed in my life. And I think in those pieces too, funny, like you said, he only used them for the outlines too. He only used drying for the outline. But I was just captivated by the texture of it. I was like, that's exactly what I need. It's sharp but textured. Because I used to do like Neopets fan art in Photoshop, and I always hated like the crisp digital line look where there's no texture at all. It just looks cheap and cheesy to me. Like, it's not for me. Like, specifically smooth but crisp. I don't know how to describe it. It just, when I used it on my own art, I just didn't like it. No, you're good. The cat wanted to say something. Let them speak. I gotta hide this because I can't even see what I'm doing here. Okay. There we go, and then we're just gonna leave that a blank circle right now. I am not looking up ref at this moment. I am just going with my sketch right now as ref. I'm in a flow state and I don't want to break out of it to look at ref at this moment. I want to get these basic shapes in. If I can get the basic shapes of everything done tonight, that would be huge. I mean, I determine when the stream ends, but I like keeping it about the same amount of time every week. It's more ritual like that. Though I should have streamed yesterday, but it was headache city, I'm sorry. Took meds, slept, drank water, ate food, went for a walk, everything. Just headaches. Not migraines or anything serious, but like, you know, one of those days. And no promises, but I would like to get into streaming one additional day during the week to work on just stuff for myself that's not requests and stuff, because I think that would be kind of cool. I do work on stuff for myself outside of stream, and that's very zen, but I also like receiving the live feedback. I think that's fun. So maybe like once or twice a month I'll do just like a random Wednesday stream or something, who knows. I'll do this bow layer underneath. Because when I was working on that wedding mouse group picture, I was just thinking, man, I wonder what the chat would say about this. Like, what would they think, you know? And maybe the key is I get like 90% of the way through a piece and then I finish it on stream and ask for feedback. So I get the best of both worlds. I get like to enter in a flow state and just chill and do my own thing, but then I also get like the live feedback. There's benefits to both, you know? I like hearing what people have to say. It's good to get perspectives that are not your own. And sometimes it's like because I posted on that Art Crit subreddit asking like, hey, like I've been working on this for too many hours and like I don't like looking at it anymore, like what could I do to make it better? And I got that helpful feedback about like values and stuff, but most of the feedback was just like, it looks good, it's fine, just step away from it for a few days. So I'm like, okay. So that was like reassuring to hear, like, you're doing fine, there's nothing wrong with the piece, it looks good, just like chill. Alright, I already did that arm, good for me, because I didn't want to do it again. I got this. I'm cooking on these layers, I'm getting pretty close to having the, like, basics done. Is this underneath this? Yeah, we could use that. We'll do all this on one layer the same way I did the other arm, because I can do this, like, middle part on a clipping mask and then color underneath. I think that'll work just fine. And we're gonna really simplify this shape too anyway. And then I keep wanting to get into making YouTube videos again, but it's like, the idea was to make YouTube videos out of the streams, but I feel like it's just me talking about what I drew over the span of a week or two on stream, and I don't know if people want to watch that necessarily. I don't know, but I'm beyond the phase in my life where I wanted to sit and like script and edit a video. Like that was fun for a while, and now I just don't want to do that anymore. So I don't know. I think just streaming, and then if I do make a piece that's like a big fan art piece or something, maybe I'll make a video out of that, but not sure. Like if I ever do the like every Neopet that I want to do, or like all the Animal Crossing NPCs or whatever, I would definitely make videos out of that. But like these casual streams where I spend like, maybe the Sailor Moon one would be a video, because like people like Sailor Moon. Maybe this will be a video. But the more casual streams where I just do like sketch requests and stuff, it's kind of hard to make a full video out of that. Or I could do what real YouTubers do, where they use footage of anything, so like speed paint, and then they just talk about an unrelated topic that's like a hot trending topic. I wouldn't enjoy doing that very much unless it was something I was personally interested in, but I think people would watch that, so something to think about. It's like, hey guys, here's speed paint footage of me drawing Sailor Moon while I talk about like Mr. Beast's new inedible foods, you know? Great. People would click on that. Would I feel anything in my soul doing that? No. So I'm probably not going to do that, but... But I don't know. I make good background video content, I think. Which, like I said, is high praise. It's like, put me on in the background while you draw. Or do whatever, work on your homework or whatever. Okay. We're just gonna use a random different color to separate it. Let's do... Oh, the hand would have to be... Yeah, this would have to be on a separate layer. I'm gonna make this a different color, that way I can tell too. Cut and paste. We're gonna make this purple, just to make it different. And then the head would have to be here. And we'll make the head pink. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Let's make this neck like that. You like the videos? Thank you. I'm glad you like them. I think it's just because it's my own video, and it's like I look back on it years from now, and it's like, or you know, in the future, I'm like, I could have done so much better than that, you know. We're our own worst critics, you know. But I like that people still like the videos. I think that's the key. I gotta draw just cute stuff like Duffy and Friends and Animal Crossing, and I had somebody email me about they liked my Kirby crossover video, which I completely forgot I did, where I did like Kirby eating Animal Crossing characters and stuff like that. I forgot I even made that video, but somebody remembered it and saw it and like emailed me about it. That's cool. And wanted their own Kirby. I'm sure they've released new Duffy and Friends characters too since I did that video, so maybe I could do a follow-up or like a group picture or something cute like that. I think that might be fun. We're gonna do the earrings on the same layer, or at least this part of the earring. No, we'll do the earrings on their own layer, that way it's like easier to recolor. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do earrings on their own layer. And you know, I have so many like random goals. It's like I want to get into selling stickers and prints. I want to illustrate a published kids book. But one other big goal I've had for years that I've never like made any progress towards is I need to make more Disney specific art. So Duffy and Friends might be a good thing to do. I want to make more Disney specific art in this like style because I really, really, really want to have a booth at the Epcot Arts Festival one of these years. And it's going on like either now or mid-January. It's like January, I think, is when it happens every year at Epcot. I've been to a couple and I follow people that do them and I'm like, I could make cool Disney art and sell prints at the, I think that would be really fun to do. And I have family down there that could help me set up and stuff, so it would be chill. I would love to get a booth at the Epcot Art Festival. I've never boothed before anywhere, period, so I should probably get experience doing that first, but like, specifically I'd love to. And I have another idea of like a commission style I want to do. Is I've done for commissions before, drawings of people's kids in like the Dumbo ride cars and stuff, but I would love to like walk with me here. Somebody's gonna steal this idea. No, they won't. Nobody cares. I want to do like 8x11 standard size that would be good for a print, and then like I'll do a variety of like here's a ride car, and then the background is like the roller coaster track or like the ride scenery. And then it's like your character here, but like for your family, right? So it's like mom, dad, and kids, and you pay per how many people are in the ride car. And I have like one for every major Disney ride. I have one, like I have a Haunted Mansion one, a Pirates one, whatever. And then I have for like major roller coasters, so like Velocicoaster, Steel Vengeance, whatever. And it's like commissions that are just based around like get your family portrait in your favorite ride. But I would make it affordable-ish because I would have the backgrounds already made and stuff. So it would just be drawing the characters, the people. I think that would be really fun to do, and I think people would like it, so for gifts and stuff. So lots of ideas. Will I do any of them? We'll see, but I have lots of ideas. I think that would be really fun and cool. I think people would dig that a lot. Let's see. They released one literally like a couple months after your video. I'll do a standalone video of just her, why not? You love the pets as AC. Yeah, I would love to do, you know what, I want to like refine that style and offer that as like a commission too on my commissions page at like a slight discount to kind of encourage people to like order from me. Because I would love to do a whole series of those. I like talking about people's pets, like the fun stories they'd send in or about their personalities and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool too. I like those. So I'd love to do stuff like that. Maybe that's the ticket, is I just make like specialized commissions and then I just do videos about those commissions. I think that might be a viable thing to work on. Because I enjoyed those too, and I didn't feel like I lacked things to talk about in those, because I would talk about the art process and I would talk about the pets, I would talk about my own pet stories or whatever. Like, I feel like there was much to talk about in those. Whereas if it's I struggle with the making YouTube videos out of streams thing, because it's like, I feel like I've said everything that needs to be said in the stream, but like how many people are going to watch the playback? So like, does that matter? I overthink everything in my life, so this is no exception. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hiccup there. And another type of commission I would love to do is I would love to get into drawing people's houses, like the front of their houses in this like little golden book style. I did one of like a Chicago 2-flat style house forever ago that I really like. I would love to get good at drawing house exteriors and draw people's houses as a commission as well. And maybe I'll start selling that on those on like Etsy too, and see if that gets traction, because sometimes people do pet portraits and like house stuff on Etsy. I don't know. I have hundreds of ideas. It's just time and implementation, you know? These buns would be behind here. Again, I want imperfect shapes like that. I think that looks pretty good. You wanted one. I wanted one so bad, but I discovered you around the time you stopped making the videos. You know, I'll start doing them again. It's just, I want to get a couple samples of like what my style looks like now, because I'd want to keep an homage to the old school, like the square background, the like stumpy cute proportions, the like homage to Animal Crossing with like the stumpy legs and arms and stuff like that, but with like better coloring and better art overall. Like, I want people to know where I'm at now versus where I was at a few years ago. So I'll make a couple samples of like my family pets or something, and then come up with a price that's like slightly discounted from what my standard full color character would be, to be like, hey, these are on special right now. Like buy one, get one half off for additional pets or something. I don't know. I'll scheme up something. But I'd want them to evoke the old videos for people who love those, but just be like better, you know, upgraded. So I think there was something about that style. But I think my sense of color is better now. My ability to do interesting shapes is better now. More interesting poses. I've had a lot of growth, I think, in a few years, so I hope people dig it. You got your cat right before the pandemic, right before Animal Crossing? Yeah. Man, what a time. What a time. I had a friend who was supposed to come visit me. I lived in LA at the time. I had a friend who was supposed to come visit me. Had the tickets booked for everything. We had tickets to go see Book of Mormon. We had tickets to like do this, that, and the other thing. And one by one, everything started to cancel. And then she had to like frantically call to try to cancel and refund her flight, and they didn't want to refund. It was a whole nightmare. Because her flight was booked for like March 13th or 14th of 2020, so it was just when everything was starting to fall apart. It was really wild. The saving grace was, of course, Animal Crossing. I'm not liking how one thickness this hair is on the left, so I'm gonna play with this a little bit. And my bragging rights about my island is that I've never remade my island. I've like flattened it and redecorated it, but I still have my save is still like, or like when it says your island is created is like March 19th or whatever the launch date was, 2020. So that's my little flex that nobody cares about. Is that I've had the same island since launch day. I like it because it feels more like a little home. Even if it's changed so much, I don't even live in the same state anymore. I'm a completely different person with a completely different life. It's kind of nice that I have that little keepsake, kind of. It's like a time capsule. Of the best part of 2020, which was playing Animal Crossing. Playing Animal Crossing and making YouTube videos about Animal Crossing. The highlight of 2020, 2021. And my niece was born September 2020, so that was a very wild year. I mean, for everyone in the world, but yeah. Big year for me too. My chunk of hair flying in my face again. See, this one on the right I like. It's like got this like taper that's like nice. This one on the left is a little too thick and chunky. Let's narrow that out. And this might be something I fiddle with next week as well. I don't know. All right. I think we're cooking. Yeah, I'm going a little past when I normally would stop stream, because I'm almost done with these very basic shapes, and I think that's a good point to stop. I'm going to change the color of a few of them before I end stream, like the face and stuff and the arm, just to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing for a thumbnail for next week's stream, where I'll finish her up. I'm getting a little hungry, to be honest with you. Could use a little late night something to eat. And my arm is getting a little tired, so this is not the only drawing I've done today, by the way. Did some client work earlier. If you spied my camera roll, there was a bunch of pictures of different liquor bottles because they wanted a let's all go to the movies type thing with a bunch of different types of liquor bottles. So I had like Jose Cuervo and Jack Daniels bottles and stuff in my camera roll. I clear it out frequently so I don't have like a ton of images in there, but just today I had a bunch of just pictures of liquor bottles on my iPad camera roll. But that's why. So we're gonna move these right here so that this hair, all right. And I want to do that collar. A layer right here. We're just gonna do a real basic shape and then clipping mask it to the neck. And then maybe do that moon shape and clipping mask it as well. Blam. Oh, that's a weird shape. Let's fix that up. Okay, that's a little bit better. Then lower the opacity just for a second. Let's do this moon here. Beauteous. And then I'm gonna do basic eye shape on top. Because A, this will make for a cuter thumbnail, and B, it'll be a good stopping point, I think, for tonight. I'm just gonna do one eyelash like this. I might change it next week, but I just want to have a good basic face. Maybe 2 eyelashes. Yeah, I like the 2. And we'll just do this for a nose shape. Keep it really simple. Do some lips. I like in mid-century cartoons where the lips and the mouth and the teeth were all just like one shape like that, you know? Maybe I want just a little bit of a point. And this will be something I agonize about either off stream or next week or both. It's like the shape of everything. The face. Because the face is going to have more detail than any other part of the picture except for maybe the pleats on the skirt. So I want to make sure it's all right, you know? Why though for what? I can't remember. I forgot what I said 30 seconds ago. So that could be in reply to anything I said. Alright. Alpha lock. Let's just do something peachy. Like so. Look at this. Oh, the commission you were talking about. Oh, I don't know. I think he's making a t-shirt out of it for something. I have no idea. I don't ask a lot of questions with my client stuff. They just say like, hey, can you draw me a cartoon toilet saying hello? Okay, I assume you're a plumber, but like, I don't know. Maybe you just want a picture of a cartoon toilet. I always use that as an example because I've had to draw toilets, plumbers holding wrenches, cartoon animals dressed as plumbers holding wrenches, like many times. So I always use that as an example. But it's like, if you need a cartoon toilet, I can hook you up with a cartoon toilet. I can do that. She's gonna have scary looking all skin legs here until next week because I'm not dealing with the boots right now. We're gonna up the opacity on all of this. I will be merciful and add some white on the gloves just to make it look less scary. You know what? I'm gonna add some red on the boots just to make it look less terrifying. There we go. That's not how it's going to look in the final, obviously, but like less terrifying for the moment. We don't want skin feet. That's horrifying. Do you ever get a commission and go just why? Yeah. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'll let you know if I think of one, but yeah. Often I'm like, what? There was one that I didn't even take on because like by the time I replied to the guy, he just like found somebody else to do it or something, because I was going to sell him like, no, I'm not doing that. He wanted Conor McGregor, like the fighting guy. I don't know anything about sports, I'm sorry. Like the wrestler or whatever. He wanted him like on top of a car wearing tighty whities saying like something about like being the king of sports or something. Some stupid thing he wanted him in like white underwear on top of like a car throwing money or something. I don't know. And I was just like, I'm not doing this, because he wanted like a slightly realistic like comic book hero, like super muscular, defined kind of and I was like, I'm not doing this. I said, my professional reply is like, I think this is a little outside the wheelhouse of what I can offer as an artist. I wish you the best of luck in finding the right fit for your project or whatever. But like by the time I had sat and like thought that up as a response and typed it, he said like, never mind, found someone to do it. Like, okay. And he also only wanted to pay me like $10 to do that. And I was like, no. And I'm sure there's more examples, but like that's one I do remember being especially strange, where I'm like, I'm not doing that. And sometimes I just straight up don't want to do something like I can do it, but I don't want to. Like, what was one the other day? It was like he wanted a cartoon bomber jet, but he wanted it to be like semi-realistic. Like he was very specific about like, it has to be this make and model of bomber jet with like this style of wing or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm the right fit for this project, because like I can draw that, but it would take me so much longer to draw that than a standard commission that it's not worth it to me, and it would not be fun. Like, I'm not doing that. So let me change the background color to something where we can actually see her, or just make it transparent. That's fine. Let's hide Mariah for a second. And let's hide the sketch for a second. Alright, so it's very basic, but this is our starting point. This is a really good base for next week. A lot of it's just going to be coloring, like the little gem on her thing I need to do, and like the lines of the pleats on the skirt I need to do. But a lot of the details are basically going to come together pretty quickly on like 1 or 2 layers. So I think this is a good stopping point. I feel like I've been extra yappy this evening, so I don't know. I always feel that way, and then I watch a playback of my stream to see if I sounded crazy, and I sounded fine. But and why for that commit, I have no idea why that guy wanted that. I have no clue. So we're gonna leave her like this. We're gonna come back to her next week and finish her up in the first hour of next week's stream, and then maybe take like 1 or 2 sketch requests at the end of that stream. I shouldn't spend more than like an hour and a half finishing her up next week. So back to regular sketch requests next Friday. Hopefully I don't wake up and have a headache and postpone it to Saturday like I did this week. Was it you? Something with fruit? That was me. The fruit guy. One of my worst. Well, he wasn't a bad client in the sense that like he paid me on time and like tips sometimes, I think. Did he? I don't remember, but I got paid to do a lot of work for him, but it was like, you know those like homies stickers you can get in like bubblegum machines or whatever sometimes, where it's just like gangsta cartoon characters? He wanted that, but he wanted every fruit on planet Earth drawn like that. And I mean every fruit. Like Wikipedia list of every fruit that's ever existed on planet Earth. Because it started normal, like apple, banana, orange, and then it gets a little bit more out there, like dragon fruit, star fruit, like okay. And then he's sending me like I can't even think of the name, like fruit that nobody's ever eaten on the planet ever. Like monkeys eat this kind of fruit. It's like poisonous to humans. But like he wanted me to draw that with like shoes and like gold chains and stuff, so I did it. But like what is he thinking? It dragged. Everyone else was waiting for ages. Yeah, it was crazy. It put a damper in, like, I had other commissions in the queue, like, to work on, but it was like, all I could work on for seemingly my entire life was just these stupid fruits. It was horrible. Yeah. And you didn't mention it with weird commission, so I was like, maybe. No, because I feel like I've brought up Fruit Guy a bunch, but I'll talk about Fruit Guy forever because it was so weird. And then I remember, like, I want to say it was like a year later, he wanted more work from me, but like he was being really picky, and I had just had enough, and I was just like, you're gonna need to find another artist to like. He was fine until it was like something really stupid that he was really nitpicky about, like the type of shoes or something where I was just like, okay, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. It was something like that. I can't remember specifically, but he just pushed too many buttons for me, and I was like, you're gonna need to find somebody else to do this work. And he's like, please, please. He like begged me to keep doing the work. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm over it. Yeah. Non-flashbacks. Yeah. I just see a bowl of fruit and I just start sweating. Now I'm just yapping to yap. Alright, well, I am going to go find myself something to eat. I will see you all next week where I'm going to finish up Miss Sailor Moon here and then do some sketch requests. Thank you all for tuning in. I got 5 concurrent viewers tonight. That's pretty good for a stream that's not even at my regular time. That's not bad at all. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you all next week. Peace.